boys and girls. Today we're going to do lesson 8. In lesson 8, we're going to talk about parts and wholes. So parts are what we put together to make a whole thing. So in your lessons, you're going to need your pattern blocks. We're going to use trapezoids first and triangles and squares. You can do this on your paper making it, and if you see here, we're going to cover the shape. I'm going to do it to the side here with my big shape so it's a little bit easier for you to see. So if we look at the first one, it tells us we're going to use trapezoids. So here's our trapezoid here. And it tells me I'm going to need here and here. So I want to make that shape. So if I take my first trapezoid and I put it here, and I put my second trapezoid right here, this is the shape I'm going to make. And what I'm going to make is actually a hexagon. So when I make that, it's just got, if I break it apart, how many equal parts does it have? 2, right. There are 2 equal parts to cover this shape. So I'm just going to write that in there. I have 2 equal parts. The next thing it wants us to do is it wants us to make this big triangle with these small triangles. So I'm going to move my trapezoids out of the way. So I'm going to build this. So you're going to need your green triangles. And I'm going to look and see they have one that goes this way. And then there's one that goes this way, and then there's one that goes this way, and then one that goes this way. So now when I look at my triangle, or what they built over here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 equal parts. And I know they're equal because equal means that they're all the same size. So when I look at my 4 triangles, all 4 triangles are the same size, a triangle. So I have 4 equal parts there. Then they want me to look at my big square here, and I'm going to use my little squares to make this big square. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, I have 4 equal parts, and again, remember, I know they're equal because they all are the same size. If I just pull them apart, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 equal parts to make my big square. All right, so let's look at our guided practice. We'll practice a few more together here. It says a whole can be separated into equal parts or equal shares. Equal parts of the whole are the same size. So remember we talked about how these are all exactly the same size. So when they look at this over here, they're taking this big square and they divided it into these 4 equal parts. When we say 4 equal parts, we say that's either 1/4 or 1/4 of that shape. So if I was just going to color one of these in, then 1/4 of that shape is colored in, or 1/4 of that shape is colored in. If I look at this square, it's got 2 equal parts. So if we have 2 equal parts, we call that a half, when 2 are just exactly the same. So if I want to color in 1, then I would say 1/2 is colored in. So it says, write how many equal parts there are in each shape. So if we look at number 1, how many equal parts do we have here? 1, 2. There are 2 equal parts. So really what they have is they have a triangle like this. Let's see so you can see a little bit better. Or a rectangle, sorry. And then they have a rectangle like this. So here's 1, 2, and then they've just squished them together. So there are 1, 2 equal parts there. Now, if we look at number 2, that's a circle. So if we look at that circle, let's see, it has 1, 2, 3, 4. Their circle has 4 equal parts, 4. So number 3 says draw lines to show equal parts. So if I have my triangle and I wanted to have 2 equal parts, where would I draw my line? So let's think about this a minute. here's my triangle. Can I draw it right down the middle to have equal parts? Are they the same size? Yeah. If I folded those over, they'd fit one on top of the other one perfectly. So I have 2 equal parts there. So let's look at it here. Could I do it this way? Are those 2 equal parts? Is the top the same size as the bottom? No. This one, the top is smaller than the bottom, so these are not equal parts. This is the only way I can divide my triangle, right down the center. Now I have 2 equal parts. Then I have a rectangle over here, and it wants my rectangle into 4 equal parts. So I'm going to do it into fourths or quarters, and they want 4 equal parts. So let's see here. Here's my rectangle. All right. Can I go across to 2 equal parts? And then down the center. Yeah, all 4 of my parts are equal. So I could do my rectangle that way. Let's see. What about, could I go 2 equal parts? Now do I have 4 equal parts? Just 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have 4 equal parts going that way. Let's see. What if I do this? Can I go 2 equal parts? And then can I go, 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts? Yeah, so with my rectangle, there's more than one way for me to get equal parts. So I have like 3 choices right here that I can pick from. So you choose how you want to divide yours. I'm going to divide mine like I did my top one. I'm just going to go down the middle and then across the middle to get my 4 equal parts, or my quarters, or my fourths. So it says, how do you know when parts are equal? So think about that. How did we say we know if parts are equal? Right, that means they're the same size. So when I look at my circle here, all 4 parts are the same size, right? All 4 parts are the same size in my rectangle here when I put it into quarters. Both of my parts are the same here, so that means they are exactly the same size. All right, you are going to do the independent practice and the homework on your own. Remember, I want to look at the back side and do the problem solving with you. So, the first one has 3 pictures of a sandwich. And it says, Jasmine cuts her sandwich into 2 equal parts. Circle Jasmine's sandwich. So if we look at it, the first one has 2 parts, the second one has 4 parts, and the last one has 2 parts. So it either has to be the first one or the last one. But remember, it also says that they were equal parts, which means they have to be the same size. So if I look at this first sandwich, are these the same size? No, the one on this side, on your left, is much bigger than the one on the right. But if I look at the last one, both sides of the sandwich are the same size. So I'm just going to circle that final sandwich because that's the one that has equal parts. All right. So it says Damon is sharing his pie equally with himself and 3 friends. How many equal parts does he need? Draw lines to show the equal parts. So here's his pie. He's going to share it with 3 of his friends, and they're going to eat that pie. So the first thing we need to figure out before we start drawing lines is how many parts do we need? So let's think about it. We need 1 part for Damon, and then we need 3 parts, and this plus means and, we need 3 parts for his friends. So altogether, we're going to need 4 equal parts. So remember, that pie is the same shape as my circle, right? So all I'm going to do is just cut it in half and then cut it in half again. So I'm just going to draw a line right down the center. And then I'm going to draw another line right through the center. And then I'm going to say that I have 4 equal parts. All right? 14. Isabel and Katie cut this pizza to share with their 2 friends. Tell why they are wrong. So when we look at it, here's their pizza. 1, 2, 3 pieces. Why is that wrong? Okay, well, let's think about it. There's Isabel, 1, and Katie, 1, and 2 friends. How many parts do we need? 1 and 1 is 2, plus 2 more is 4. Because remember, this is Isabel, this is Katie, and their 2 friends. So I really need that pizza to be in 4 slices. So when I do that, I'm going to cut it just like I cut my pie, down the middle, across the middle. So remember though, when we have lines, we have to write a sentence explaining our answer. So it says the pizza is for 4 people. It should be cut into 4 parts. So I'm just going to write the pizza is for 4 people. And remember, we did the math here to figure that out so we knew how many we needed, right? It needs to be cut into 4 parts. All right, that's the problem solving done. So your job is to do your independent practice and your homework on your own. Again, remember, some of you will have your homework in your packet. Some of you are going to have your homework in your portfolio to complete.